On now. Okay. So I was saying that was beautiful and an incredible act. And I'm here to introduce the next section here, not to have to follow it. So I think one of the things that was amazing in this project is that we actually have created some of the symbols for the future of our synagogue. And it was lovely to hear Danny talk about building on 150 plus years of history here. But a couple things, we didn't set out to do this, but between the rabbi's inspiration and some extraordinary coming together of talent and interest and excitement in our community, we've created two pieces of, I think, our future. One is the doors, and the second is the Ner Tamid. And so the next portion we'll get to hear about how those were made and why they exist. And it's a story that I think is very important for us all to share and appreciate and embrace as we go forward. So I'm going to introduce Laura Lou Levy, who is the artist who created the doors and has no, you can come on up. So Laura is an accomplished artist, and actually I learned a new term. She was a senior head cut artist at the Wall Street Journal for many years, and has a gallery now and continues to produce art in East Orange. And then Nisan Gertz, who is going to join her, who I think somebody earlier today said, I want to meet Nisan because like I keep hearing his name or I've talked to him and I want to see who he is. So Nisan has been like our secret weapon. He's essentially been he calls himself a user's rep. He's a user's rep, but he's the guy who's actually managed this project for us. And so when there's a problem, that's who we call. And he's the one who sorts it out and gets it done. And he's an architect by training and a religious Jew, and he's brought, I think, a deep spiritual background to the work here that's really something, we didn't know we were getting when we brought him on board to do the work, but I think's been a big part of our success. So with that, Nisan and Laura, could you come up?
You want to be on the left or the right? Where do you want to be?
I don't know. I want to be next to you. Good evening, everyone. Should I start?
Yeah.
Thanks for welcoming me into your congregation and community and your wonderful inner circle. Unlike, first of all, I was sitting next to Alan in the back and just kvelling. I have to say that. For those of you that, remember that word. It was so appropriate. It was just kvelling. That was it, right? There's no word for it. Unlike Alan, I paid attention when I was a kid. I did do Torah portions, and my favorite character in the Bible was an obscure fellow named Bezalel. And Bezalel had one job. Moses got all the glory and all the commandments and all the talks with God. And then he came down the mountain and he said to Bezalel, I got to build this building. I need you to take care of it for me. Go figure out how to do it. And he did. And he did it by finding incredibly talented people amongst the Jewish people, amongst the camp, and pulling them out and getting them to do what they do best. And so I always loved Bezalel. And I think in many ways that's what I got to do on this project. So I'm just going to introduce for a moment how we got to the doors and how I got to Laura, who I absolutely adore. She is an incredible artist and a wonderful person. So Alan came up with this beautiful design in partnership with the design committee and so many others. And the rabbi approached me at one point early in the project and she said, it's really beautiful, but where's the Barnert personality? Like we We need to have it become ours. It's not just a really nicely finished empty room. It needs to have our story. And so it was a struggle. She talked about that a lot. And we said, okay, through the artwork and through the details and another layer on top of the architecture, we can achieve that. And as the architecture took its form and the colors and the finishes, we started looking at other avenues. And at the same time, Rabbi Steiner did one other thing. She started to introduce me to all of these people in the congregation, people like Laura, and people like Larry. Wow, if Larry has this factory that's like an adult playground. He's got every tool, and it goes back. It's third generation. With the boys now, it's fourth generation. With the dogs, it's fifth, right? Been making furniture. I mean, beautiful furniture. And I went to his furniture showroom because I thought, oh, he'll help us with the furniture. And then at the end of this fantastic tour and spending 2 hours together, he shows me this machine. I have to find it. I have a picture. You gave me the clicker and I put it in my pocket so I wouldn't lose it. I found it. Yeah, that's exactly right. What is all this? This is Alan's. Here we go. This was the rendering that was like, didn't really have much life. Okay, this is a machine called a CNC, right? And a CNC is this computerized, like, huge thing that can make 8-foot panels and cut them out. And I said, Larry, we're going to use this somehow. This is it. We've got to figure out something. And then I met Laura. And Laura does this art with acrylic paint. And I said, Laura, we're gonna make this wooden thing out of computerized, machine. And she said, wooden, computerized? I paint. I said, no, we're going to figure out how to do it. And we did. And we did that on a lot of things, not just the doors, not just the screens in the front. The Ner Tamid, which you'll hear about, is another part of that. Every detail down to the mezuzah, the art in the lobby, the plaques, the memorial plaques, all these little details that personalize space and make it our own. And that was the important part of my mission as the Bitzalel of the project. And it was enjoyable because I got to work with great people. So on that note, let me hand it over to Laura.
Handing it over to me.
Yeah, and we can start talking about the doors. Sure.
Hello? Okay.
There's the screen.
Okay.
Here's the CNC. Go ahead.
I just want to tell people who don't know, because I didn't know, I looked it up. CNC, Computer Numerical Control. It refers to the computerized operation of machining tools used in manufacturing. The CNC machine they operate using pre-programmed software and codes, which tell each machine the exact movements and tasks to complete. Very alien to me. But I was able to work with the incredible design team at Larry Chalfin's factory, Mike Rinaldi, who got to know me way better than he ever wanted to, and Nisan, who really got to know me way better than he wanted to. Let's see, am I supposed to click?
Mike spent like, I think he said 250 hours
or more
of programming to do the artwork,
Yeah.
right?
And,
That
and-
doesn't
and
count the
cutting.
time
It doesn't count the time. Oh, I
that
don't
Laura
know.
spent on it.
Oh, yeah, no, that's not including my time.
Okay, let's go through some of this space.
Okay.
Ready? Here
all right,
we go.
You're going to do that. Okay.
Go ahead.
So the first doors, the 3 sets of doors, I wanted them to be tied to each other. And the fact that we were using basically what he says, a screen, that Nisan referred to as a screen, is a wood panel that was cut. And everything had to hang together and hold together to support whatever imagery was there. and then sandwiched between two panes of glass, and then embedded in the door. So I started talking to Rabbi Steiner and the committee, the Art and Doors Committee, about what they envisioned. And the main thing that came out was the idea of Lador Vador, the generation to generation, and the history of the synagogue, the community, and the temples that have been home to the congregation. And so the first door shows the central building in the little 3 old buildings on Straight Street. Is that right? I'm sorry, Mulberry? Okay, in Patterson was the first home. This little, I call it a Steadily building, but it's right there. And so that's referred to in the bottom right corner of the right-hand door, if you can see from the drawing. And then the shapes that every single set of doors has came really from, really were inspired, I figured out later, from my love of these trees in Renana, Israel, where my sister and her family live. They're strangler figs. Well, you can see them in Tel Aviv all over the place too. But the strangler figs go around the trunk, and they don't kill the tree, but they just kind of embed it. And I've been fascinated with them a long time, and I've done some work, a series of drawings about them. So that kind of came in and took over as the unifying shape. And then the leaves are the filigree to hold everything together. And the star at the top of well, you can see the photograph of the synagogue on Straight Street. Oh, okay. The rose window
You have
has.
to read Zipporah's book.
I do. Okay. The rose window got my attention, and I kind of pushed for using it. It's got this funny shape. It's kind of like wah, like that. You know, it's not straight triangles, and it's embedded with a lot of other stars, which you can see when you go look at the door. You can't see in my sketch, but. And so with the CNC, we weren't able to get every single one, but there really a lot of them. So it looks really nice. Okay. Second set of doors is from the entry little foyer landing into the lobby, and it refers to the building on Darren Street. Dare Mav in Patterson. And it was a challenge to figure that one out. But we did. This is kind of an early sketch, I think, of it. I don't know what else to say about that. Okay. Okay, and then Lador Vador. So we took the theme very literally, and everyone loved the ark with the beautiful. You can see there what was there before. And so we kind of decided to make the third set into the sanctuary reflect that, and also to literally spell out Lador Vador. And believe it or not, there was a lot of iterations of each of these, like many. I have a folder about that thick at my studio. So I feel really happy with how it all came out, and it's been an incredible honor to be involved in this project. And thank you, Rabbi Steiner, for inviting me on the Art and Doors Committee. And thank you, Nisan, for all the bazillion calls and Zooms and whatever.
We're going to finish with the
Let's finish.
Doors, right?
Arc Doors.
So the idea was that from the moment that you enter into the temple, that you actually experience and pass through the history of the congregation from its very first home through to its current iteration, and that it comes to sort of a sense of culmination when you sit in the sanctuary and see the same language of a CNC used in a more layered effect on the arc doors themselves. And the arc doors went through many iterations.
Oh my gosh.
Dozens.
Yes, so they really did. We started out with the concept, Rabbi Steiner had suggested Pardes, the garden, the orchard, which I loved, and did a lot of deep dives with that. Nothing really clicked until I started really doing something that came very naturally to me, which is woods and forests and trees, because I grew up running around in the woods behind our house, and a lot of my life, my previous part of my life with my late husband and kids was spent hiking and camping and in the wilderness a lot. And so the idea of a path through the woods just evolved. And I guess you can kind of see. Yeah, you can kind of see. And there was something I had written down that made sense. Ultimately, I came to a path through the forest into the light that had to be winding and meandering and not straight. This idea resonated with the committee, and because our congregation is welcoming to all, and no two people are on the same path. So that's that.
And as a segue, the path leads to the light and the eternal lamp, which we'll turn over now for discussion on that to Rabbi.
We want to
Where
invite
did she go?
the Frischman Freelander family
There we go.
up to talk about the beautiful Ner Tamid made by their daughter, Deborah.